every day, you hear me, every day, at least 4 times a day, our building hallway alarm goes off. So in my head is another false alarm.
The initial narrative around the deadly Bronx apartment fire continues to fall apart as more and more details surface about the landlord's neglectful practices. Most recently, the tenants filed a $3 billion lawsuit against one of the investment companies that owns the building. The fact that the fire was started by a faulty space heater makes it very likely that the building wasn't providing adequate heat. The building's records show hundreds of violations, several specifically regarding lack of heat. As I mentioned in my last report, the city's deflection of blame to the tenants might have something to do with the fact that the landlord, Rick Gropper, was on Mayor Eric Adams' transition team. But it gets worse. I recently went to the Bronx and spoke to survivors of the fire, Gropper's tenants, and they not only corroborated the accusations of lack of heat, they also shed light on new violations, which could have prevented this tragedy altogether.
The heat is very bare minimum. If it lasts like 5 minutes on, like that's about it.
We freezing in that building.
Yeah, how many people are using heaters in the building?
I guarantee you, at least 100 people in this building got space heaters. I have a space heater myself.
I do have a space heater. Yeah, I have one in my living room and one in my son's room. Because my son's room window, the cracks around the window, they fixed the outside foundation, but the inside, they never fixed. So the cold comes in his room to where it feels like freezing. By the time you go into my bathroom in the morning, it's ice cold.
That alone should be enough to merit an investigation into the landlord. But what you're about to hear next will leave no doubt in your mind that there's more to this story than some blameless tragedy.
I woke up to the alarm in the hallway ringing because the fire alarm in my apartment don't work. So I woke up to the one in the hallway ringing. So I didn't pay no mind at first because every day, at least 4 times a day, that alarm rings. Every day, you hear me, every day, at least 4 times a day, our building hallway alarm goes off. So in my head is another false alarm.
We heard alarms going off, but because the alarms in the building goes off at least 3 to 4 times in a day, there's really like, you never know if there's a fire or if there's not a fire going on. So everybody's a little leery. It's like bypass, okay, it's always going off. This time it was actual fire.
So there you have it. Basic necessities like heat and working fire alarms that could have prevented this tragedy weren't provided to the tenants of Twin Parks Northwest. So this wasn't a blameless tragedy. There are thousands of buildings in the city just like Twin Parks, which is why people are already taking to the streets in response to this tragedy and demanding a permanent end to winter evictions and demanding full accountability for slumlords.